At least electronic sales in general are down right now. To be honest with you, I don't see a lot of good news coming anywhere in any shape or form for anybody these days. PC, console gamers, nothing. Prices keep getting higher and everything keeps getting weirder, if I'm being completely honest with you. But who the heck knows what's going to happen in the future, though? Sure as heck, I don't. Sona has reportedly reframed its pullback. Oh, reaffirmed. Yes, I'm reading this for the first time live. Don't think less of me, please. Yeah. The narrative single-player games will remain on PlayStation 5 exclusive. Bloomberg, blah, 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 blah. Like I said, this is something that's been a long time coming, I think. It used to be extremely common that if you wanted to play a certain game, you'd have to have a PlayStation, have to have an Xbox, etc. I'm still going to be a PC gamer till the end of time, mainly because I really I don't have no desire to have a PlayStation. And I don't know, you can do more stuff on a computer. I do work on computers and stuff, so yeah, I don't know. I skipped buying the PlayStation 5 because I didn't feel like it and I missed out, said one PC gamer, the PC subreddit. I've never heard anyone say this, honestly, that, oh, they regret not buying a PlayStation. Xbox are extremely, I don't know. They're what's the best word for it? They are they stick with Xbox basically. I don't know, but you know, trying to play with something on my screen here. I'm getting distracted. That's not gonna work, but it'll have to work for now, anyways. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. You know, back in my day, you know, you had to have a specific console in order to play a game, but I don't know. Anyways, I ain't got much to say about this, obviously. On to the next one. Oh. Now, this is something that more people actually need to be on the look at nowadays because it's getting more and more common, whether you like it or not. And it's something you just need to keep in the back of your mind because this is going to become more and more of a thing in the future. Houston restaurant's viral sign demanding tips is an AI generated fake. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Is it really an AI generated fake? Or is the restaurant just saying it's an AI generated fake? Well, 10 years ago, that wouldn't have even been a question. Obviously, you know, you'd know one way or the other. This day and age, the last year or two, yeah, you actually have no idea. Like, unless you live there and have seen it with your own lying eyes, you probably have no idea if something really happened the way they said it's supposed to happen. It is literally the age of misinformation, whether we all like it or not. New restaurant rage bait just dropped in the Houstorians. Okay, that's a long word. And anyways, Houston residents. That's you know. Anyways, this time the culprit is an AI generated image. Sign requesting patrons tip 20%. Well, the thing about it is the thing says that they demanding tips. That's the reason why it pulled my interest so you know, hard. But right here it says it is requesting. Every restaurant requests a tip. They request a tip pretty hard depending on, you know, how desperate the staff is too, you know. The sign reads, "Dear guest, your server is not a volunteer." Well, I know they're not a volunteer, so why don't you pay them better, honestly? Well, I say that, but honestly, I know people who work in the restaurant industry, and it's really a feast or famine kind of thing. Some waitstaff servers are literally making north of 50K a year, while some of them are making less than 20K a year. It really just depends on whether or not you work in a high-end restaurant or a Waffle House. Really and truly. And that's literally just the way the tip system works. That's the reason why it's probably never going to change. The ones making bank and not having to pay their taxes, you know, they like, no, don't give us a wage. And the ones working at the Waffle House, like, crying at night because they don't know if they're going to be able to pay their bills at the end of the month. They're like, please give me $7 an hour. But, yeah, I don't know. And that's the reason why I tend to tip in cash and not electronically on the bill, because you know what I mean? You know what I mean? The image caught the attention of Houston diners after it was shared on the local subreddit. Wait, do cities have a local I guess a city as large as Houston has a subreddit, I guess. I don't use Reddit a lot, honestly. I used it back in the day because it had a lot of good information, but it's just too, I don't know. Too much misinformation is on there. Like, it used to be back in the day, people actually wanted to help you on the internet. Like, you would put a question out on a local forum or something, and people would respond with like a genuine answer. And now it's like, honestly, everybody who responds to you just either wants you to like get bent or whatever, you know? Like, I miss those days, honestly. And that's why I stopped using Reddit, is because even the Google AI that brings up an answer isn't right 60% of the time, but it's still better than Reddit. And I say that knowing that I think Google is actually trained off of the Reddit posts and stuff, which Google, what the heck are you doing, man? Seriously, what the heck are you doing? Anyways, the claim has been spotted at the Rice Village location. Torchy's Tacos. So Torchy's Tacos is innocent, people. They are innocent. Supposedly, as far as this person who wrote this news article is concerned, they are innocent. I have no idea because I don't live there. So help Torchy's Tacos. They probably got delicious tacos. If somebody targeted them, they probably you know what? Just support them. They're probably a good place. I don't know. They could be really bad. They could have deserved it. I have no idea. Anyways, wait, the image is to its Facebook. Wait a minute. So subreddit, Facebook. What? Oh no, man. So this local city has so somebody really did go out of their way to like post this to the city's subreddit and to the city's Facebook page. So this wasn't just a random post, like this picture was literally everywhere. So this restaurant, either the owner or the staff or something, like made somebody angry with way too much time on their hands. Way too much time on their hands. Because they literally probably posted this image to 50 plus places. I guarantee it's on the face. I guarantee if this city's got a MySpace page, it's probably on the MySpace page too. It's probably on the Twitter. Culture Map Houston, like, did you look at their Twitter? It might have been posted to the Twitter too. Just saying. Or wait, is it X nowadays? I don't use Twitter or X, so I don't know what the newfangled names are these days. Who keeps up with the names? If Facebook changed its name, it'd be 5 years before I'd actually recognize it. I still see it as the Facebook. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. I wonder who this place made angry. Please don't be angry at me. Anyways, on to the next story. All right, let's see here. Now, so everybody knows about data centers these days. They're popping up literally everywhere. And I see these news stories constantly popping up. And I just figured I would put a little tiny bit of a spotlight here on it for a few seconds or so. Because right here, it's how much do you know about data centers? Take our quiz. And it's like I see a big push on improving data centers like view in the public. Because it's very obvious that everybody hates these data centers. Everybody does. So there's like a big propaganda push is the only way to describe it, of trying to lighten the public's mood on it. But the thing about it is data centers are just naturally destructive. That's all they are, is just naturally destructive. They either take your jobs, they take your power, they take your water, or they take your land. Or they take a combination of all four of those things, depending on where you live. I guarantee you the new data center going up in Utah, I know there's one going up in Texas. There's a whole data center corridor in Appalachia up on the East Coast and everything. If you live in those places, I guarantee your power, your water, and even your job might be threatened in some way, form, or fashion because of a data center. Not to mention, there is a few things that say there could be a few negative health side effects, some long term, of living close to one. So I really question, why are we building them so fast? Especially since I personally believe that AI tech just isn't ready, personally. I don't think that we're actually going to get above maybe general intelligence until quantum computing. And I think general intelligence for AI is a big ask, honestly. I think humans have this really bad habit of looking into the eyes of an animal and just seeing the reflection and saying, oh my gosh, it has consciousness. It's like me. Humans do this every day. Honestly, when they look at their dog, they look at their cat, and etc. Now, I'm not saying your animal doesn't like you, maybe even love you, but I don't think it's nearly the same kind of love that you have. And it's the same thing with AI. Now, we might look at AI, and it's still such a new technology, we don't know whether it's a house cat, meaning it would eradicate us if it had the opportunity, but it just doesn't have the opportunity. Or two, it's a lion. If it gets hungry, it's going to get rid of us. Or three, it's a dog. It's just like that happy-go-lucky animal that's going to protect us no matter what. We don't know what it is yet. And I really don't think we should be expanding AI to the point before we at least have a broad understanding of what type of beast this thing really is. Personally. Now, I do believe probably in less than 10 years' time, all of these data centers are going to be completely obsolete. I seen a thing that said, oh, all the cables in a data center need to be fiber optic cables between all the different connectors and everything else, because the regular copper wire cables just aren't fast enough. There's too much latency. You can't scale it up anymore. And I'm thinking, how many data centers for AI are produced using that old copper wire method? Now, I'm not an expert, and I have no idea what's inside a data center. I've only seen one from the outside. But I can't help but think that some of the greatest minds in the world are probably thinking about it day and night of how to improve this technology. And I'm sitting here thinking, maybe if we waited 4 or 5 years, we could save a whole heck of a lot of money if we just sat there, planned out this whole thing from scratch, and then built it. But then again, we have a ton of different companies racing towards this AI thing, and I think out of the big 5 companies that exist right now, there's probably only going to be maybe 2 that survive more than 15 years. Mainly because they're going to waste a lot of money, man. Like a lot of money. Now, some people say that the AI thing is ready. It's ready to take our jobs. It's ready to do this and that. I don't know if it is or not, but we gonna find out real quick, because these stories here. Let me see if I can get it. Wait a minute. Dadgummit, it messed up my thingies. Hey, I'm just going to put this one here. I had two, but it messed up my thingies. I had a good run up to it and everything, dadgummit. Anyways, Zuckerberg meta layoff memo. Success isn't a given in the AI era. Now, one of two things. The pleb programmers that aren't that good are going to come crawling back to Meta if you make them angry. That's just the way it always goes in any workforce. But the cream of the crop, if AI is not ready, and you make the cream of the crop programmers and analysts and all these other people, these real professionals, you know, the top 20% of the industry, basically, you make them angry, then they're not going to come crawling back if this whole AI data thing goes kaput. You know what I mean? And I really think that these companies are playing a dangerous game, you know, of just laying off their workforce and everything. That, then again, the economy is bad right now, whether you like it or not. It was bad before the current shenanigans going on, and going into this year, it's only gotten worse. I think people are just scared right now and uncertain. People are just starting to circle the wagons. Basically, if you're not towing, then you're going to get kicked off the boat, basically, is how every company is functioning nowadays, to be honest with you. I know a friend that's selling his company he's had for 20 years because he's just scared. Not because like the company isn't profitable. In fact, the profits are at an all-time high, which I'm like, holy crap. But, you know, I feel good for him and everything. But he's just scared about his success in the future. And he feels that if everything does go kaput, he could start over from scratch, especially if he has some scratch lying around. And it's like, with taxes being raised and everything else, it's like, why not just take the money and run and let the big guys, you know, fight with the government, you know, let the little guys sit there, hold their money, and maybe come back to the market when everything's okay. That's the sentiment that I feel a lot of business owners feel like nowadays. Is let the big companies fight the government and these regulations, and we'll come back in like 4 or 5 years, you know? Because if you have a company, well, let's just say a few hundred employees and everything, you'll sell that company to a bigger company, and you'll let that bigger company fight the heck out. And then once they run out of money because they had to pay lawyers and all sorts of other crap for the last 5 years, you'll open up a little shop on the side of town and start in business again. You know, like you knew how to do it. Like you did it once, you could probably do it again, especially in a good environment where the economy is kicking real good. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's the sentiment I see with a lot of business owners these days. And I hate to see it, but I understand it, you know? Anyways, on to the next story. I kind of got a little off track there. Hey. Okay. Now I seen this, and I seen people was talking about it, and I do have a few thoughts about it, but not a ton. And that is, Jeff Bezos says the bottom half of earners should pay 0 in income tax. I personally believe that a lot of taxes are just not necessary for 2 reasons. Like, a lot of people want to complain that the rich don't pay their fair share. I'll say from experience, honestly, that we pay a lot in taxes. If you own a business, you get punished for it constantly. You really do, to the point where it's almost like less of a headache. It's not financially, you know, good, but it's less of a headache just to be an employee. I could be an employee and make, you know, a decent living, or I could have my own business and make a more decenter living, probably make twice to 3 times as much. But it's such a headache in taxes and other things to where at the end of the day, you're like, sometimes I just want to crawl in bed, go to sleep, and not have to worry about the IRS hitting on my door at the middle of the night. You know what I mean? And sometimes it feels like people just be waiting for that to happen. And honestly, the sentiment in the United States is, in a few years, it might not just be the IRS. It might be like Joe Blow down the street hitting on my door at the middle of the night. If that happens, like, hell, I'm going somewhere else. I'm not even rich. I live in a really small, crappy house. I just saved my money. But like, I feel like I just get punished constantly, you know? Anyways, I do believe, personally, I've had this conversation with a lot of people. If you actually wanted to help out young people in this country, the first $500,000 that people make should be untaxable. Completely untaxed. No income tax, no social security tax, no nothing. You just make the money, it's put directly in your account. Now, if you working at Burger King, you know, it's going to take a while to get to $500K. But if you a rich kid working as a lawyer, whatever, like you went to school to 26, you ain't worked a day in your life, yeah, that you might do it in like a year or two, you know. I think the first $500K you make should be completely tax-free. No taxes whatsoever and everything. That's just me. And again, America has a big spending problem. A lot of people have the sentiment of, I don't mind paying more in taxes as long as the United States government's budget is balanced. But as long as the United States spends so much in money to where there's no way raising our taxes is ever going to make a difference on how much money is exiting the coffers or whatever, there is zero reason to pay more in taxes. I'm of the understanding of, if we're just going to print our way out of it, let's just go full bore and just be like, nobody has to pay anything in taxes. I mean, there's zero reason to. If we're just going to pretend like we can just print money and completely just solve all of our problems, why is there a need to raise taxes? Huh? We have to balance the budget before the United States and the people should criticize the richest Americans. We need to criticize the federal government and say, look, if you want to tax very wealthy billionaires like 80+%, then maybe, just maybe, we need to balance the budget first. I really do think a lot of billionaires in this country, millionaires too, would be completely fine paying really high taxes for, 20 years or so, as long as we balance the budget. If you could balance the budget, I think people would actually at least have a broad understanding of, yeah, we don't like it, but it's for the good. And until you balance the budget, anything that says, oh, we need to tax this person more or this person more is completely moot in my opinion. There is zero reason to bring in more money if you're just going to spend it anyways. It makes no sense. Anyways, that's just me. I don't know though. I'm going to get off this because I don't want to say something really dumb. Anyways, next story. I wonder if I should do this or not. Nah. All right. Let's see. All right, an unexpected predator is raiding Burmese python nest in the Everglades. You know, a lot of people like to say, oh, we have to protect the environment, especially from invasive species and such, which there's really there really is, you know, a truth to that and everything. There's a big truth to that, especially, you know, and everything. But every species on this planet was an invasive species at some point in time. Either they evolved into an invasive species or they were dropped there by, I don't know, a bird flying from Europe to Africa or Africa to Europe. I don't know. Every tree, you know, tries to go with the wind, as they say. So it doesn't surprise me that a few things saw an opportunity while preying on a invasive species, even one as OP as the python. Now, a scavenger bird could become an ally of the South Florida fight against the spread of the invasive Burmese python by feeding on their eggs. It may help to slow the reproduction of one of the Everglades' greatest ecological threats. And I'm actually glad to see this. I think the reason why the Burmese python doesn't have more predators, honestly, is because a lot of animals in the Everglades probably didn't see it as food. You know, it's pretty common that you hear a sloth, you know, won't eat eucalyptus leaves if they're off of the branch of the tree and everything. Well, an alligator is not going to chomp on a python that it's never seen before, you know? Because it doesn't know if it's poisonous or not. Because, honestly, if you was out in the wild and you saw something you had never seen before, if you just stuck on an alien planet or something and you saw something you never seen before, you would look at that and be like, is it food? Is it food? Anyways, so yeah. So I think you're going to see more things preying on pythons as time goes on, because it doesn't surprise me that something's eating something there, you know? Hey. Researchers arrived at a python nest to remove the eggs before they hatched to prevent the blah blah hatchlings, blah blah blah. The vegetation covered the clutch, blah blah, and removed. Ah, so 17 eggs were removed, but I think don't they do like 100 eggs at once? So 17 out of like 100, you know. Oh well, there's 14 eggs remaining, so yeah, whatever the heck ate them eggs probably filled up its gut, because 17 and 14 eggs remaining. I honestly think that it might be better just to leave the eggs in the nest. If 17 eggs have been eaten and 14 eggs are remaining, I guarantee you whatever ate the eggs will probably come back and eat it more. So I would actually want to encourage this behavior in the future. If it sees, oh, the eggs are gone, you know, it might stop preying upon python eggs, you know, the bird or whatever is eating this thing. So the female was, so yeah, after closer inspection, researchers found no sign that the other possible predators or scavengers besides the vultures. They also noted that the punches in the eggs were consistent marks with the bird's beaks. So yeah, the bird definitely got a hold of the eggs, which birds are known to eat eggs anyways. A lot of things prey on eggs. So yeah. Now that being said, I guarantee you this python might reach for that bird one of these days. So yeah, it's a risky business trying to snatch them eggs, if we're being honest with ourselves here. But I don't know. Since then, researchers have continued monitoring the nest to gather key data, including clutch size, location, hatchling survival. Professor, blah blah. as well as some of the eggs before hatching pythons emerge. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. This is the last story of the day and everything. And I haven't read it, so I don't know how it's going to go. Scientists think humans develop right-handedness thanks to these two factors. Okay, what are the two factors? Thousands of primates help, blah, blah, and there are the possibilities. 42 different primate species, blah, blah. These factors, among the other fossil records, help us imagine the timeline, blah, 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 blah. It's a lot of crap. Ancient habits. You know why I think we developed right-handedness? Simply put, whenever humans stood on 2 feet, we had to throw something in order to protect ourselves because that's about it as far as we can do. You need one hand to throw stuff really good, like rocks and stuff. So yeah. Probably the first thing that stood on 2 legs that threw stuff was right-handed. That's probably the only reason. That's as far as it goes for why people were right-handed. I don't know. I didn't see anything of substance in this story. Sorry. I kind of presented it, and then I kind of just glossed over it. If you care about it, you can go look it up yourself. I just don't see. It's like a bunch of, yeah, nothing really good. Anyways, I don't know. I have no idea. Wait. Oh no. Anyways, I think that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll see each other sometime or another. Anyways, see you.